I'm Ayandromeda V. SABALLA, and for today we'll be talking about the law of sine. So, what is law of sine? Law of sine is a fundamental concept in trigonometry that relates the sides of a triangle to the sine of its angle. It is also particularly used in solving oblique triangles. So first, before we solve a problem for the law of sine, let us first discuss what is the formula used for the law of sine. So, we have here A over sine A equals B over sine B and is equal to C over sine C. Now, we have different version of it wherein we only flip the given formula to the given fractions wherein the sine A, B, and C are the numerators while the A, B, and C are the denominators. But they're both the same, so you don't have to worry about it. So now, let's start with our first solving problem. In a triangle A, B, and C, angle B is equal to 141 degree and angle C is equal to 23 degree and side A is equal to 9 units. What we have here is to find angle A measurements of angle and a side B and C. According to the given triangle, first we will list down the different kinds of angles. So now let's start with angle A. So as you can see, I've already listed down the angles. So after that, we'll now list the side, which are this one. Oh God, which is this one. So our problem now here is how are we supposed to identify the locations of the three different sides? Now, our reference are the given angles. Here is the 9 unit. This represents side A. So what is the basis? Since this one is angle A, your side is the opposite to your angle A, which is this. This is side A. Automatically, it is already side A because it's the opposite side, or it is the adjacent of angle A. How about B and C? So, same as the angle A and side A. If this one is your angle B, then this one is your side B. And if this one is your angle C, this one should be your side C. Let's get started. For this part, we will start with the angles. Let us first solve the easiest part. So for us to be solving faster, we'll use a scientific calculator wherein we'll solve first for angle A. And this formula for angle A is angle A equals to 180 degrees, open parenthesis, angle B plus angle C, close parenthesis. Now A equals to 180 degree minus 164. Now let us check the total of 180 minus 164. So the total of 180 minus 164 is 16. 16. Meaning the angle A is equals to 16. Okay, we will write it down. So, next is let's solve for B. We're going to copy this formula, which is A over sine A is equal to B over sine B. So, we'll just going to do this. So, for B, it's hollow. Copy the formula A over sine A is equal to B over sine B. Now, if you're done copying this formula, we will proceed to our next step. So our next step is 9 over sine A equals to B over sine B. So, as you can see, this is our second step. So for us to know, we will do a butterfly method or the cross multiply. Just like that. Wherein you multiply 9 over 9 and sine B and B and sine A. So now for the third step, we will rewrite the result of our cross multiply. B sine 16 degrees over sine 16 degree equals to 9 sine 141 degree over sine 16. So, since these ones are the same, we will cancel them out like that. So, how are we supposed to identify the side B? So, this will use a calculator, which is 9 sine open parenthesis 141 degrees close parenthesis is divided to sine open parenthesis 16 close parenthesis. So the total is 20.54. So this is approximately because it's not that it's not accurate. So let's draw the approximate sign. 20.54. So the side B is 20.5. Let's now solve for side C. Solve for C. So we'll just do the same steps as we did for the side B. So let's copy the formula. A over sine A is equal to C equals sine C. So after that, we will proceed to the next step, which is the copying the formula and cross multiply. So sine A is 9, then over to sine A is equal to C over sine C. Then after that, we will do the same thing as we did for solving the B. So C sine 16 over sine 16 is equal to 9 sine 23 over sine 16. So where mani nakuha? So we just did a cross multiply here in the second step. Okay. And since this one side is same, we will also cancel them out. So we are now going to solve for side C. So input to your cycle 9 sine open parenthesis 23 close parenthesis is divided to sine open parenthesis 16 close parenthesis is equal to 12.18 units. So it's also not accurate, so we will do the approximate sign. So for now, we're done solving everything. Let's put it to our triangle. For side C, our side C is 12.18 units. And for our side B is 20.54 units. And for our angle A is 16. And that's all. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Janelle OBERES. So I will discuss about law of cosine. The topic is law of cosine. So first is what is law of cosine, guys? The law of cosines is a formula to solve any triangle. So the keyword is any triangle. That is not a right triangle. For example, think of it as Pythagorean theorem plus extra part for when the angle isn't 90 degrees. So, when do we use it? So, kanasama na to gamiton ang law of cosine. So, there's only two cases. The first one is SAS case. So this is the SASS. Two sides include angle to find the three sides. So if you know two sides and the included angle, use it to find the third side. Example, you know B, C, and angle A to find A. So the second one cases of the law of cosines is SSS, three sides plus find an angle. So, if you know three sides to use is to find an angle, guys. So, you know ABC to find angle A. So, the second one is the main formula. So, there's our four sides and four angles. Four sides. A squared equals B squared plus C squared negative because A. For angles. Cos A equals B squared plus C squared negative A squared over 2BC. So, nganong na matter man siya? Why is matter? So, pangutanan na to no, nganong na matter siya? So, it is an extension of the Pythagorean theorem when the angle isn't 90 degrees. We subtract that to the cos A part. So, it matters, guys, because it works an oblique triangles. And it works too if angle A equals 90 degrees, then cos 90 degrees equals 0. So the formula becomes A squared equals B squared plus C squared. That's why it's an extension of Pythagorean theorem. The fourth one is difference from law of sines. So the first one is about law of sines. So A as A, AAS, SSA. So the rule is if the angle is stuck between two sides, to law of cosines. The second one is law of cosine. So law of cosine is SAS, SSS.
Translation is a transformation that slides a figure from one location to another without changing its size, shape, or orientation. To make translation much easier to visualize, let's use real object. Imagine a book laying on the table. From 10 cm, you gently slide the book 15 cm to the right without lifting it, turning it, or flipping it. As you can see, the book has undergone a translation. Its size, shape, and orientation remain exactly the same. The only thing that changed is location. Translation simply means moving an object from one place to another without changing how it looks. These graphs show how a quadratic function can be translated or moved without changing its shape. The original equation is y equals open parenthesis x minus 10 close parenthesis 2. It's a vertex, which is the lowest point of the parabola. It's at open parenthesis 10 2 closest parenthesis, When we translate the graph 15 units to the right, the equation becomes y equals open parenthesis x minus 25 close parenthesis 2 plus 2. So the new vertex is open parenthesis 25 and 2 close parenthesis. Notice that only the position of the graph changes. The parabola keeps the same shape and still opens upward. This is similar to the book and art demonstration. It's a slide from 10 cm to the 25 cm without rotating or changing its size. In conclusion, translation is an isometry preserve distance and angles.
Good evening, everyone. Today, I will be discussing reflection. So, what is reflection, DI? Reflection flips a figure over a line. So, money siya ang figure. And then, how are we supposed to reflect it? It is similar sa mirror. Here is an example. Reflect the figure across the x-axis. So, money siya ang x-axis. So, from here, we will try to reflect A. So, ang iyang distance is 1, 2, 3 from the x-axis. Then, across sa niya. So, we will also go down 3. 1, 2, 3. So, mani siya ang atong A. We'll put A. So, what about B? From here, sad, usara sa diyang distance sa x-axis. So, 1. So, marasad na. Ani atong B. What about C? Usara sa gihapon. So, C. Mani atong C. What about D? Tulo ang iyang distance from the x-axis. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So, mani siya atong D. Now that we've figured out our figure across the x-axis, mangi atong pangitaon lang coordinate. Let's start from the top. So, A. Ang iyang x-axis is negative 3, positive 2. Ano ang A? Ang B kay negative 3, positive 1. Ang C 3, positive 1. Opposites. What about D? 2, positive 2. What about anhinata? I will use a different color for this. Probably. So, what about here? We start sa A na sad. From the x-axis, mag-una jud, then y. Negative 3, negative 3, negative 3, negative 2. About kani, ang B. Negative 3, negative 1. C, D, and C is positive 3, negative 1, positive 2, negative 2. So, in other words, ang iyang rule is if positive x, y is x negative y.
Good day everyone. I will be introducing you coordinate rules for transformation. So let's learn about the learning goals. Students are able to use coordinate rules to transform images. So to start, rotation. So, what do you notice happens to the coordinates x and y when ABC is rotated by 180 degrees to get A, B, and C? Well, point A, B, and C has changed its signs and position. So, why does this happen? Well, it's because the rotation rules about the origin. If if the figure is rotated by 180 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise, x and y becomes negative. So it will become negative x and y, negative y. And if the figure is rotated by 90 degrees clockwise or 270 counterclockwise, x and y becomes y, negative x. And if the figure is rotated 270 degrees clockwise or 90 degrees counterclockwise, x and y becomes negative y and x. So thank you for listening. Moving on to the next lesson.
Today, we'll be exploring about the quadratic inequality in one variable. So, in this lesson, I will be explaining to you what is the quadratic inequality in one variable, and I will be giving one example, and in that one example, I will be showing you a step-by-step solution guide, which to solve a quadratic inequality, we need to use the interval testing method. So, in that step, we have the move all terms to one side, next, find the critical numbers, and next, set up the intervals, and next, test the each region, and lastly, we have to write the final solution set. So, what are we waiting for? Let's go! So, what is quadratic inequality in one variable? So, quadratic inequality in one variable is a mathematical statement that contains a polynomial of degree 2 and uses an inequality symbol instead of an equal signs, unlike standard quadratic equation, which have specific numerical solution. Quadratic inequality result in a range or interval of values as their solution set. Okay, so here we have one example. Solve the quadratic inequality x squared minus 5x is greater than 14 and state the solution interval. Now, for us to solve this example easily, we're going to follow the different steps. So first is we need to move all terms to one side. So this will be so that we can ensure one side of the inequality to 0. So as we can see in my presentation, the supposed to be 0 is 14. So that 14 needed to be equal 0. So, so we need to write the inequality standard in form. So to make it standard, the right inequality symbol should be 0, but the number there is 14. So we move this 14 to the left of this inequality and also to the right. So that will be x squared minus 5x minus 14 is greater than 14 minus 14, since here we're doing the distributive property. So what you put on the left side, you will put also on the right side. So after that, we need to minus the 14 minus 14. So that will become 0. So here we have the x squared minus 5x minus 14 greater than 0. So here you you probably notice that we are looking for the values that make the expression greater than 0, meaning we want positive results. So we temporarily swap the inequality sign for an equal sign so we can find our critical boundary points. So here we have x squared minus 5x minus 14 is equal to 0. So after that, we solve our equation by factoring. So we need two numbers that multiply to negative 14 and add up to negative 5. So those numbers are the negative 7 and positive 2. Since we make the negative 7 times positive 2 is equals to negative 14, and negative 7 plus 2 is equal to negative 5. So that will give us the factor of x minus 7 and x plus 2 equals to 0. Setting each factor to 0 gives us our critical number of x equals 7 and x equals negative 2. So this will be the arc of boundaries on our number line. So in the next slide, I'm going to show you our number line, or the number line of this example. So here, let's visualize our solution using a number line. So first, we plot our critical boundary numbers. So it is negative 2 and 7. Notice, or if ever you notice, that I am placing an open circle on both numbers, since we use open circles because our original inequality uses a strict greater than symbol, meaning the boundary values themselves are not included in the final answer. As you can see, these two boundaries points split our number line into three distinct regions. Since our original inequality asks where the expression is greater than 0, our goal is to find which section produce a positive result. So first, let's look at the left region, where numbers are less than negative 2. So we will put x less than negative 2, and at the lower part, you can see the negative infinity and negative 2. And next is we have negative 2 less than x and less than 7. And as you can see on our lower part, we see the negative 2 and positive 7. So at the very right side, we will see x greater than 7, and as you can see at the lower part, you will see the 7 positive infinity. So at the next slide, I will be showing you the test of value. So yeah, let's go. So here we have our test value. So as you can see in the factors, we have x minus 7, x plus 2, x minus 7, and x plus 2 is greater than 0. So since it is greater, the answer of it should be positive. So as you can see on the next part, it is negative 8 and negative 2. So let's find a number that is before negative 2. So we can think, let's say, negative 3, since it is greater than the negative 2. So we put x equals negative 3. So after that, we need to plus. So negative 3 plus negative 7. So it will make a negative 10. So after that, we will put the negative. As you can see here, there's a negative. So after that, we need to also plus the negative 3 and positive 2. So that will become a negative 1. So we will put the negative here. After that, we need to multiply the negative times negative. So it will give us the positive. Since like sign is positive and unlike sign is negative, as what we see in the rule and the multiplication of that. So since it is positive, so the answer of it is true. So here the next side is negative 2 and 7. So let's find what is greater than of that both. Since 0 is mostly the greater than of it, so we will put x equals 0. So as what we did at the first part, so we need to add yapon. So 0 minus 7 equals negative 7. And 0 and positive 2, it will give us the positive 2. So just like what we did, we need to multiply it. So negative times positive, it will give us negative as what I said, and like sign will give us negative. So since it is negative, the answer of it is false. Am I right? Yes. So at the last part, here we see the 7 plus infinity. So we will find that is greater than the 7. So we have here the x equals 8 since 8 is greater than 7. So just like what we did, we need to plus. So 8 plus negative 7, it will give us positive 1. So here we have positive. And then next is 8 positive plus positive 2 is will give us positive 10. So here we have positive. Since positive times positive is positive, the answer of it is true since it's positive. So just like that, we have the our final solution of it is the left and right side region or side since it was true and the middle is false. So as we can see here, our inequality notation is x less than negative 2 or x greater than 7. And our set notation is x line x less than negative 2 or x greater than 7. And for our interval notation, using parentheses, so we have here negative infinity to negative 2 union positive 7 to positive infinity. So just like that, we are finished on our quadratic inequality in one variable. So I hope you learned something about what I said or about this lesson. And yeah, congratulations for finishing this. And that's all. Thank you.
We're going to solve quadratic inequality in two variables. I have here one example, which is y less than x squared plus 2x minus 3. So let's start with the step number 1. So here we're gonna change y into 0. So here 0 is less than x squared plus 2x minus 3. And next is we're going to change the inequality into the equation or equal sign, which is x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. So the third step is we need to factor out the factor of the equation x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0 is x plus 3 and x minus 1 equals 0. Root of the factor is x equals negative 3 and x equals positive 1. The clue here is just change the positive into negative and or negative into positive. So we're here in the step 4, which is finding the vertex. But before that, we need to find the ABC of the equation, which is A equals to 1, B equals to 2, and C is equals to negative 3. And we're going to solve first the H. And the formula of the H is H equals negative B over 2A. Next is substitute the given value, which is H equals negative 2 over 2 times 1. H equals negative 2 over 2 or divided by the 2 is equals to H equals negative 1. And that's the H of the vertex or the letter X. And now let's move to the K. So the formula of the K is K equals 4AC minus B squared over 4A. Now let's substitute the value, which is K equals 4 times 1 times negative 3 minus 2 squared over 4 times A. And then after that is do the math, which is 4 times 1 is equivalent to 4. And then 4 times negative 3 is equals to negative 12. And then let's separate the 2 squared, which is 2 squared is minus 4. And then over is 4 times 1, which is still 4. And then next is K equals negative 12 minus 4 over 4. So let's do the upper first, which is negative 12 minus 4 is equivalent to 16. So why 16? Because it is both negative, and if you add both negative, the answer is always be negative 16. And just copy the 4. So next is K equals negative 16 over 4. So just divide it. So negative 16 divided by 4 is equals to negative 4. And then there you have it. You have the K. And so the vertex here is negative 1 and negative 4. So let's proceed to the graphing part. So the vertex is the blue one, which is negative 1 and negative 4. And then the factor is negative 3 and positive 1. And that's the parabola of the equation. This part is we're going to identify which is the shading part. So first step is you need to find the coordinates to the inside and outside. In inside, we use 0, 0 or x equals to 0 and y equals to 0. So because that's the easiest. And after that is substitute the formula that we had earlier to the coordinate. And the result is 0 less than to 0 squared plus 2x times 0 minus 3. So the answer of that is 0 less than negative 3, which is false because 0 is not less than to negative 3. After that is let's move on to the outside. And remember, you can find or write any coordinates as long as it's outside. So in this case, we use 2, 2 or the coordinate 2, 2. Same as 0, just substitute the given. And the result of that is 2 less than 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 3. And after that is just do the math, which is the answer is 2 less than 4 plus 4 minus 3. Same as before, just do the math. So the result of 2 less than 4 plus 4 minus 3 is equals to 2 less than 5, which is true because 2 is less than 5. And then we can identify which is the shaded part is the true, which is the outside, since that's the true. And then in conclusion, the shaded part is the outside, and that's how you solve quadratic inequality in two variables.